Welcome everybody, Old Guy Jammin' here. I thought I'd throw my hat into the best and worst gear of 2021. I don't have a long list because I don't go through a tremendous amount of gear like some people. But what I have to say might help some of you decide what you might like to save some of your coin for. So I'm going to go with the worst first. I thought the orange stamp was a real disappointment. Very popular, I know, but when I brought one home, I thought it was unusable. I could not get a good tone out of it, and I did not understand the whole idea. Okay, so orange stamp, boo. The next one was that Dietzel microamp that maybe I got a bad one, it's possible, but I thought that thing was ridiculously bad. A lot of YouTube guitarists made it sound really good and appealing. But I thought it was the worst piece of crap I'd ever tried to make sound good. Sorry. I'm open to a solid state amplifier at some point. I keep trying them occasionally, but I still have not found one that wasn't a disappointment upon strumming the first chord. I'm spoiled with tube amps, and that's what I like. And I've had Katanas, 50 watt, 100 watts. I've had large ones, small ones. The Yamaha THR is the coolest solid state amp I've ever owned, and it's fine for me. That's where I think I'll stop with solid state. All right, so on with the coolest stuff. People have been talking about EQ pedals forever on blogs and in forums, and telling me, well, just stick an EQ pedal in the loop and that thing will sound great, like the Joyo Zombie pedal or little mini head. What a cool little amp. Well, there's a solid state one. Bluetooth, effects loop, gain for days, sounds very much like the full-blown Mark V by Mesa. But the thing just had an intolerable amount of bass. And I didn't have one of these yet, but people kept telling me, just throw this in the loop and you'll love that thing. And they would have been right. I just picked this up a couple of weeks ago, and wouldn't you know, I just didn't understand how with a 3 or 4 band EQ already, I didn't think I would be able to get that much more tone shaping out of an additional EQ in the loop. But amazing. You can make your Marshall sound like a rectoverb. You can make your rectoverb sound like an angle. It's really amazing. You can take a small amp that has no bass and all of a sudden have plenty of bass. So this is really cool. If you don't have one, they're cheap enough and they are fairly amazing. So that's on my list as some of the best gear. The next one is the 385 drive. All right, I'm just really impressed with this. Kind of a sleeper pedal. It's not on a lot of lists, but I have found this to be a very pleasing tone. It's transparent. It has bass and treble. It has a nice amount of volume, so you can get a nice amount of boost in your signal. And then the gain goes from just a straight transparent pedal up to moderately driven, up to soul food on steroids. Very nice and tight and crunchy. And then if you keep going, it goes into a very nice fuzz type gain for leads. And it also takes other pedals. If I put this I did a video where I put this in the end of a 4 overdrive pedal chain and left this on at the end and turned each one of the preceding pedals on, and it didn't overly compress or nasty up the tone. It just made it searing for your leads. Leave this on all the time. So really impressed with this. Like it quite a bit. Then also the Flux drive by Mesa. This is a killer pedal. A lot of the reviews I saw online did not highlight this favorably. It didn't make it seem like, oh my gosh, got to get out and get one of those. But I rolled the dice on it, and I've turned out really loving this pedal as far as something to tighten up a loose amp like the Rectoverb or even the PV Invective. Really doesn't need a pedal. The Angle really doesn't need a pedal. But amps like the Marshall, turn this on with the Rectiverb or the Marshall, and you get that tight, tanky, kunk, kunk, kunk sound that you get with the Mark V or the Angle, Iron Ball particularly. So really nice pedal, and it works pretty nice as a standalone overdrive as well. Unlike the Precision Drive by, I think it's Harmonix, Electro Harmonix, the Misha Manzoor signature pedal precision overdrive that's no longer in production. I got one of those too. Not as impressed with it. I think we'll have a shootout coming up someday. But highly recommend this. Ton of fun, and I use it a lot. So that's on the list of good stuff. Super fun. And then took me forever to get to love the Rectiverb. It just made me uncomfortable. Kept working with it. I've had 3 or 4 different speakers in it. I've settled on a Chinese V30. It came with a UK V30, which had a horrible mid-range spike to it that was very uncomfortable. Then I had a G1275 in it, which is a very flat speaker, and that was a lot better. I ran it through the DV77 in a separate cab, and that was really good, pretty good. But I also had a Chinese V30, 8-ohm V30 out in the garage, and I thought I'm looking for a mid-scooped speaker because this is very mid-present, and the V30 is one of the most mid-scooped speakers out there. And so I finally ended up with a Chinese-made V30, and it's really nice. I like it, and gosh darn it, it's taken me a long time to understand this and work with it, but wow, it's a very, very nice amp. So that's on the list. The Angle, great overall head for high gain. It's got a great clean channel. The Iron Ball is a little drier. I've had the Iron Ball as well, but the Iron Ball and the Fireball are kind of similar. The Angle Iron Ball, though, is going to be a little drier and more brittle like the Mark V, whereas this is thicker. It's still tight as all get out, and if you want to make it tighter, you throw the Flux drive on. But this one is thicker. The Iron Ball is drier. They're both ridiculously good amps. And beautiful with the matching cab. And then I've got 2 guitars on the list. All right, it took me a long time. I had a few guitars in that I was looking at, and just kept on thinking, well, geez, I want this, I want this, I want this. I might as well look at the Pro Mod and check one out. I've wanted one of these Blue Matte Frost guitars forever, and got a good deal on this one. It just checks so many boxes. The unsanded oiled neck that's rolled, it's got rolled edges. So instead of you might not know what that means. I didn't for a long time. But when the neck comes up, if it's not rolled, the neck will come up, and then it starts abruptly with the frets and the fretboard. Comes up and then fretboard. On a rolled neck, the neck actually comes up, and then it starts to curve back in on itself before the frets start, so that the neck is rolled or rounded off where your hand would slide, which is a super nice feature. Jumbo frets, locking tremolo, which if you're going to play with a tremolo, that's the only way to go. The famous JB and 59 Seymour Duncan pickups, which is very, very nice. 3-piece maple neck. Again, when you pay for a guitar, a lot of the money, if you're buying an upper-end guitar, a lot of the money's going for the neck. This is a 3-piece maple with graphite reinforced rods in it, which is the way to go. It's made, I think this is Indonesia. I think all the best guitars are made in Indonesia, either that or Mexico. This one is made in Mexico. The other guitar I'm going to highlight is from Indonesia, but sticking with this, 3-way switching, push-pull pots. These are hot enough that when you split them, it really doesn't drop too much. Very pleasant tones in the split mode. Very Strat-like. You can get jazz tones out of it. You can get rock tones out of it. It's just great. A no-load tone pot, so that when you have it all the way up, every bit of the capacitor and the resistor in the pot all the tone shaping circuitry is completely out of the circuit, and it's a direct connection from the pickups to the output jack, which is pretty cool. I do notice a little more pizzazz, sizzle on top, brightness, clarity, oomph when I do that. But I do tend to have that rolled off just a tad. And then the locking Floyd Rose, which is the genius way to go. Now, I did modify this with the D-Tuna already. I love the D-Tuna. I locked this out also with some simple hardware. We'll be going over that. I'm going to talk about how to set your new Charvel up. A couple of just easy things that make it a dream to play. Very stable, very fun. The D-Tune is a must on any locking system. You just pull that little thing out and you're immediately into drop D, which is cool. All right, now the top. The best thing. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. And I gotta quit saying I'm never going to or I'll always on this channel, because I said, Fender never again years ago. But this is the Special Edition Telecaster, and I rolled the dice on it. This one, and it's a moderately priced guitar. This one happened to come with the 55-67 set of EMGs, the brushed nickel. It's just gorgeous. It has a set neck, which is unheard of on a Fender. It is absolutely the most comfortable thing I've had in my hand for a long time. Well, it's as comfortable as my Wolfgang or the Charvel. It is just a pleasure to play. Medium frets, which is sometimes nice. I like jumbo frets, but sometimes having medium frets around is a really nice thing. It's beautifully bound on the neck and the body. It's got mahogany body and mahogany neck. The top is a maple cap, not veneer. And also unheard of, this thing is got a carved top to it. Fenders, for the most part, are always flat. The Strats have a flat top. The Telecasters have a flat top. This is carved, and the overall guitar is even a little bit thinner than a typical Strat or Telecaster because of this shaping. It's light. Oops, sorry about that. It's lightweight. The action is amazing. The stability of the neck is incredible. It's just an absolutely beautiful guitar. The bridge, instead of those gross bent metal saddles, has nice stainless steel blocks, super smooth, great electronics with the EMGs, maple cap that is carved, has the comfort cut on the belly side, and because of the carved top, this edge right here is very comfortable for your arm to play. Like I said, overall, it's on the thinner side. And it's just, in this joint here, unheard of, right? A set neck on a Fender. It's just great. And the tuning stability is bar none. It plays amazing. The action is super low, very much how I like it. It rings out. Just an absolute joy to play. Reminds me of my Trampus Green PRS. It's that pretty. It's that kind of guitar. It's put together very, very nicely. A very beautiful guitar, but it plays and it's so comfortable. It's comfortable on the couch. It's comfortable on your shoulder. It's absolute joy to play. So I would keep your eye out for one of those. They've been out a while, and they can be had used. And they come with humbuckers, passive humbuckers, black. But when I saw this and this set of pickups retails for about $220 or $230 on their own. Rolled the dice on this, and it is just wow! It's incredible. All right, so that's my list for 2021. Let me know what you thought was some of the worst, some of the best things that you had moved through your home studio. I'd be interested to see what you thought was the best and the worst. Some of you are going to say that Dietzel microamp was the best or that orange stamp, and that's fine. Tone is what it is. So happy New Year to everybody. We're on the verge of 2022. We're at the slope. We're at the foothills of what's going to be an incredible climb to a summit with the sun shining and a clear blue sky, wind blowing through the trees, birds chirping. It's going to be beautiful. We just got to keep climbing upward. All right, so take care. We'll see you all soon.